We all know that a former number one pick can't really have an underdog story, but if anybody could, it would be Jared Goff. In this video, we're going to be going over Jared Goff's rise as a Detroit Lion, but also going over how he got there, going over his whole both college career and NFL career, and why he did have a little underdog story after what went down with the Los Angeles Rams trading him away to the Detroit Lions, even though obviously former number one picks can't really have underdog stories. But again, if anybody could, it would be Jared Goff. So let's go ahead and start with Jared Goff as a recruit coming out of high school in the 2013 class, ranked as a 4-star from the state of California, decided to stay close to home and committed to California. And while he was at California, he had a crazy successful college football career. Goff was the first true freshman to start in his first game at Cal. He started all 37 games possible during his 3 seasons from 2013 to 2015, and while California didn't really have that much success, Jared Goff definitely did. Goff even holds the California record for career passing yards with 12,220, also holds the Cal record for career passing touchdowns with 96, and he broke multiple records while he was at Cal. In his first season in 2013 as a true freshman, he had 3,508 yards with 18 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Then he improved in 2014 with 3,973 yards with 35 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. And to end his career, his college career with California, he had 4,719 yards with 43 touchdowns, which did lead the conference that year, but also had 13 interceptions. The Cal football team also improved each year with Jared Goff there and finished in 2015 with an 8-5 record and with a bowl game victory. Jared Goff was then selected first overall in the 2016 NFL draft by the Los Angeles Rams, and this is what seemed to be the start of a great career with the Los Angeles Rams. In 2017, he had his breakout season with the Rams, leading them to their first playoff appearance since 2004. He had 3,804 yards with 28 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. And this was when the number 1 overall pick in the 2016 NFL draft started to shine with the Rams. In the following season, he led the Rams to the Super Bowl in the 2018 season, had 4,688 yards with 32 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. They beat the Dallas Cowboys in the divisional round, then went on to beat the New Orleans Saints in the conference championship before losing to the New England Patriots and Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. But things were looking bright for the Rams with Jared Goff as the Rams starting quarterback. This was just his 3rd season in the NFL, and he already led the Rams to a Super Bowl appearance. But after that 2018 season, Jared Goff started to have some turnover problems. He did still have over 4,000 yards in the 2019 season with 22 touchdowns, but he had 16 interceptions that year, and the Rams did miss the playoffs. They did return though in the 2020 season and even beat the Seattle Seahawks in the wildcard round before losing to the Green Bay Packers in the divisional round. And Goff finished the 2020 season with 3,952 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. And with the Rams, Goff's relationship with Sean McVay had kind of faded away between the two. So that's when he got a veteran quarterback out of Matthew Stafford. They traded for him, the Detroit Lions, in return for the trade, sending off Matthew Stafford to the Rams. Got the former number 1 overall draft pick in the 2016 NFL draft out of the quarterback Jared Goff, as after leading the Rams to a Super Bowl berth in his 3rd season, his star had fallen in Los Angeles. Detroit Lions also got a lot of draft picks from the Los Angeles Rams in that trade. They got a 2021 3rd round pick, a 2022 1st round pick, which was used to select wide receiver Jameson Williams, and a 2023 1st round pick, which was used to select running back Jahmyr Gibbs. They also did get tight end Sam Laporta as well, and while it did work out kind of for both teams, this was one of the rare win-win trades for both teams. The Rams got their Super Bowl with Matthew Stafford. The Lions also, you could say, won that trade as well, because right now they are a powerhouse in the NFL, which leads to our topic of Jared Goff and his rise as a Detroit Lion. It's where it all started, the trade, and after it wasn't looking good for Jared Goff, going to a team that was rebuilding, and in his first year, the Detroit Lions became the NFL's last winless team after a 34-11 loss to the Bengals on October 17th. And after the trade, after Jared Goff got sent away because Sean McVay didn't believe he could win a title with him, most players could just shut down. But Jared Goff put his head down, got to work along with the rest of the Lions and the franchise as a whole with new head coach Dan Campbell, and Goff did eventually earn his first win with the Lions in a dramatic fashion, delivering an 11-yard touchdown pass to wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown to defeat the Minnesota Vikings 29-27, and it was a 14-play, 75-yard scoring drive to seal the win for the Lions. It was a team that finished with a 3-13-1 record, and let's just say things were not looking good for the Lions after the 2021 season, but things started to turn in the middle of the 2022 season. In the midst of a 5-game losing streak and a 1-6 record, they started to turn things around, picking up 3 wins in a row and also winning 6 of their last 7, moving to 7-7 on the season. The Detroit Lions were pushing for a wild card spot. They did end up coming up short though and entering the Green Bay Packers game. They couldn't make the playoffs, but they still ended the Green Bay Packers season, beating them 20-16 and ending their season as they, with a win, could have made the playoffs. And this was Jared Goff's breakout season with the Detroit Lions. He had 4,438 yards with 29 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. This was when Jared Goff started to get his praise in Detroit, with head coach Dan Campbell even offering public praise for Goff, telling reporters he was a better quarterback in Detroit than he was in Los Angeles, stating that he just hung in there, put his head down, and worked on what he could, and has really matured as a quarterback. And in the 2023 season, it's when the Detroit Lions fans started to chant Jared Goff chants, as the Detroit Lions clinched their first division title since 1993 after a 30-24 win over the Minnesota Vikings. It was the NFL's second longest active drought without a division title, and Goff, born in 1994, wasn't even alive the last time the Lions won a division crown. The Lions finished with a 12-5 record, and this is when the underdog slash redemption story really starts to get sweet for Jared Goff, leading the Lions to the wildcard round in the 2023 playoffs, taking on his former team, Los Angeles Rams, and they got the job done, beating them 24-23. It was also the Detroit Lions' first playoff win since the 1991 season. They then beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 31-23 in the divisional round to advance to just their second NFC Championship game, and the Detroit Lions had a ton of momentum, although the season did come to a brutal end after having a 17-point halftime lead. They did fall to the 49ers 34-31 as their magical 2023 season came to an end, but this was just the beginning for Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions. Following a 2023 season where Jared Goff had 4,575 yards with 30 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, who could have thought that he could have a better season? Well, Lions fans did. In 2024, he had 4,629 yards with 37 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, and had his best season with the Lions up to this point. Also led the Lions to a 15-2 record, their best in franchise history. Goff also made history along the way though, as against the Seattle Seahawks in a Monday night win 42-29 over Seattle Seahawks. Goff finished 18 for 18 with 292 yards and 2 touchdowns and a passer rating of 155.8. He was the first quarterback in NFL history to attempt more than 10 passes in a game without throwing an incompletion. Now, despite all the injuries on the defensive side for the Detroit Lions, they were riding high into the playoffs as the #1 seed in the NFC, but eventually those injuries did come to haunt them as they lost in the divisional round to the Commanders 45-31, ending what was their best season and best record in franchise history. And with Super Bowl aspirations in the air, it eventually came to an end. Now, Jared Goff definitely did not have his best game. It was in fact one of his worst games of the season with 3 interceptions, but it was clear those injuries caught up with them. But nonetheless, Jared Goff goes into the 2025 season with the Detroit Lions following his what should be his best season with the Lions up to this point. Despite a disappointing playoff appearance for the Lions, they should still be a powerhouse in the NFL next season, especially if they can stay healthy on the defensive side. Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions, despite having to replace both their coordinators, should still be a team that will be one of the best in the NFL next season. But with that, that's going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more if you are new around here. I greatly appreciate it, and we will see you guys in the next video.